Good afternoon and welcome to the Quiet Altar. Sometimes I forget the name of my own channel. It's because I changed the name so frequently. No, I've changed it this is like the third time I've changed it, and it's only because I like to change things up and make it more, because you morph in life. You aren't always the same person you were last year. So, and if you were, then maybe you're not growing very much. Or maybe you are. Maybe you're satisfied exactly where you are, and that's okay. I just wanted to come on here because I had done a live a couple of days ago, and I was wanting to do some readings, but then it ended up I was just talking about the Zammer Twins Oracle by Patrick Valenza, and I wanted to come on here and show you real quick. I think I featured it before, but as I was looking at it more and more, I just find it very fascinating. I find Patrick Valenza very fascinating. And in fact, if somebody said, if you could pick anybody in the world, who would you want to have coffee with? I would say Patrick Valenza. Because everybody else I would want to have coffee with is dead and gone. So I want to pick somebody who I can really have coffee with. And so I just wanted to show you the deck. I didn't think that I had the guidebook because when I got it, it wasn't in the book because originally it didn't come with the deck. But then he made it and sent it out with the second edition. But I just wanted to show you because this is how it goes with these types of cards. You read into them, and here is where it says I can get the guidebook on a PDF. And you can, use the traditional, his intention or his traditional meaning and go with that. But when I was looking at them, I was thinking that the Zamner twins, maybe they weren't twins, maybe they were just one person trying to find themselves. And I did like a little story about how the Zamner twins were trying to find themselves, and I related it kind of like the fool's journey, and it worked out pretty well. And I just love using oracle cards for this kind of stuff because you can really assist your spirit along, your spiritual journey along, when you use oracle cards in that way. And I also use the major arcana in the Rider-Waite tarot that way. And his characters are very interesting. Here are the Zamner twins. And then I just, I just went through them all. The drummer is the card that would help them get their journey started, dun 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 dun, or something like that. And then the acrobat would show them that along the way there's going to be twists and turns, and that they can always look at things from a different view. And then redemption, if all they got to do is just look up and know that not everything is, they're forgiven, and they can find a way after something after a fall they have, or a falling out or something. And the hag was, what was the hag? The hag was the dormant spiritual powers arising, empowered knowledge and wisdom, magic manifested healing, having control over your inner demons. Yeah, so as you're moving through life, you can get the message from the hag to remind you that you do have control over all of your inner demons. And then the Omni the Sirius, is that how you say that? Or the illuminating. He illuminates the sky, and the all-seeing Sun King. He's the Sun King. He has vast knowledge and perception, boundless energy, and a power of a moral leader, setting a very high standard for the enlightenment. So he's just reminding us that along our journey, we too can have that. And so he holds the light up for us and shows us his third eye. And the celestial, of course, is the she's charismatic. She is elegant. She has high ambition. She maintains her dignity. She's extremely confident, and she holds one's self above pettiness and drama. So she rises above all of the drama that sometimes keep people down in the world, and so on and so forth. The harpy's the one who tries to get a buzz in your ear and makes you think second thoughts about yourself. The butcher is the one that tries to get you to leave part of yourself behind, or like somebody doesn't like a part of your personality, and they want you to get rid of that, after they've been with you for a while or something. And then the tree of life, we all come to the tree of life for fulfillment. And then the doctor, we're hoping the doctor can heal us, but sometimes they make it worse. Leviathan, the sea creature, could be from our dreams. And of course, chaos. We're always going to have chaos along the way. Look at the chaos card, man. And then the wound man, it seems like a guy who is rising above all of his wounds. And he just looks like it's not even bothering him, just rising above it all. Adelia. Adelia. And then the blame me. He doesn't have a head. His head is on his torso. So he uses his heart, although in the Zammer twins book, it says that he's barbaric. He's threatens any animal that foolishly approaches. But that character is also known as using his gut intuition. The monkfish, matrimony, bedfellows, the temple, automaton. I want to see what the book says, because the unconscious mind, robotic or program. Yeah. So, you just go throughout your day and just, you have your schedule, you stick to it. That's all you're going to do in life, over and over and over. You do the same thing over and over. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but my granddaughter is in the kitchen and she's getting ice out of the freezer. And I don't want to say this out loud, but she's the loudest person in the family. Okay, there's the mandrake and Mercurius. The glutton, overindulgence on everything in life, is not good. So, the Zammer twins are learning this stuff along the way. The cauldron, stirring things up. Utopia, when are you going to get there? You have to really wait that long? You can be in utopia any day. Punishment. Layla. I'm trying to see who Layla is. A female, a femme fatale, unrequited love, a jilted lover, somebody who may be lovesick or stuck in bad relationships, empty promises, and seduction. Yeah, she does look kind of dark. I love her, though. It's okay, Layla, if he didn't love you back. There's always going to be someone else. The drunkard. Humiliation and embarrassment, scandal, guilt, bad reputation, outcast, addiction, self-control. Yeah, you know, we go through life and sometimes we face that. The ladder, like the stairway to heaven. Saint Sophia, or what he calls him, she calls her Sophia. She's the healing presence. The pedigree, the family tree. Sometimes it can be about materialistic stuff, sometimes not. And the homunculus, the homunculus. Let me see what that one means. Upright, it means a human potential, something that seems insignificant today. A small scale representative, something much larger, the small voice inside your head. So it's incubating. Your manifestations are still in the incubation stage. Separation, you have to separate yourself from the ego. The seraph, melancholy, the count, the harlot, the grotto, sentry, the ruby queen, the fawn, piety, the mermaid. Let me see what the mermaid says. The mermaid. The mermaid says, leaving one's comfort zone. Oh, yeah, of course. Look, she's out of water. Seeing what life has to offer. Like she wants to see what's way over there. I don't know if I'd want to be a mermaid. But then on the other hand, I want to go down to, to the bottom of the ocean. But only if I could do it like swimming. Because getting in a craft doesn't sound, I don't know. If I could hold my breath or, have, what do fish have? They don't have lungs. They have gills or whatever. Yeah. If I had gills, I would love to swim in the ocean. Just like if a mermaid could live out of water. See how she's looking way upland. The old devil. Purgation. Let me see what purgation is, because it's necessary to purge and for purification, to eliminate and eradicate. Yep. Ridding your life of evil. She's slaying. Look, she's just slaying that, whatever it is that's making her life miserable. Domination. The rebus, deliverance, and Oboreos. And it means to go around again and again and again until you get it right. You got to keep doing it until you get it right. And I just think it's just a sweet little deck. I'm going to mix them all up since I showed them to you. I'm mixing them all up. And that is the Zammer Twins Oracle deck with the guidebook. And just a little simple deck like that. I love it. And I also wanted to show you, I collect old prayer cards. I've spoken about them before, and this one in front of me, I don't have the original one in front of me, but I made this one. This is the original card, and it's much smaller. I think I have a short on it. If you look on my shorts, I have this. And It's Saint Sophie. And then I have the poem on the back because Saint Sophie had a macabre life, and she was forced to watch her daughters be tortured and killed because she wouldn't renounce her beliefs. And then I think she was put in jail, and then after she was set free, she went to where her children were buried, and she herself died there next to their grave sites with a grieving heart. And so I just think it's very macabre and goth-like, and this is why I've fallen in love with these vintage prayer cards. And I have some here, some originals. This one, I'm going to be putting this one on my Etsy store for sale. It's just so beautiful. Look at it. It was made in Paris. And I don't know, 1908. So how old is this card? And it's embossed. It looks like a chain. I don't know if it's somebody with Christ, or it might be Mary Magdalene with Christ. And I don't know what it says in French. Union Divine. That's the only thing I can make out in the front. And it's a souvenir. Maria Monastery. They might have put your name on it when you bought it back then. St. Louis. I don't know if that's the saint on the front or what, but maybe it was her first communion. That's one. This one's going to be going on Etsy. This is another one. This is Saint Paula, Apollinina. Oh my gosh, Apponina. Saint Apponina. I think that's how you say that. Apollonia. Maybe that's how you say that. And it says something here. I can't really read it. Kathleen something. And this was, I think it says something 100%. Oh, and there's a prayer. There's the person. It's to Josephine Alexander. And then it has a prayer on the back in English. And she was a saint. They persecuted her, but before they did, they pulled all of her teeth out. So as a saint, she became the person that you would pray to if you had dental issues. And see how she has the vice grip and there's a tooth in it. And that's why another reason I like them, because they're kind of bizarre. And this is Saint Catherine. And Saint Catherine was also persecuted. She was executed, or she was supposed to be executed on this wheel. But a miracle happened, and when they put her on the wheel, it broke, and I guess it set her free. So I don't know exactly how she died, if they said, well, we're not going to kill her, we'll just put her in jail, or if it worked the second time. But see, look at the little gold lines and stuff, and isn't it beautiful? And then this one, I have a few of Joan of Arc's, but this is one of my favorite Joan of Arc prayer cards. Praying at Notre Dame. She's one of my spiritual heroes, Joan of Arc. And I don't know what year this one is, but it is beautiful. in a dark Gothic kind of way. And then finally this one, this is one of my newest ones. They all have these gold tones. I don't know if you could see it or not. I hope it comes out. And then they're looking at this, it kind of reminds me of the Ace of Cups, or it could even be the Ace of coins or pentacles, or the two of swords maybe, or of clubs, wands. But I just think it's beautiful. I might make a prayer card out of this one. And this is printed in Italy. This one's from Italy. And so that's what I have. Just wanted to show you some prayer cards that I collect, and then show you the one that's going to be on Etsy for sale, and share the Zammer twins deck again. I think I shared it before, but I wanted to come on and share it again. And I appreciate all the support. Please like and subscribe, and visit my Etsy store because it helps me. And I also have an eBay store. I don't sell the same things on my eBay store as I do on the Etsy store. My Etsy store is strictly spiritual stuff, tarot related, oracle related, and spirit, just in general spiritual related, anything to do with the spirit. But my eBay store, I do sell some spiritual stuff on there, but I mostly like to sell collectibles on there. And my favorite thing to sell on there is vintage dresses. And I like looking for vintage dresses at thrift shops, because a lot of these thrift shops, all of the prices are going up so high, but they still have a bevy of gold mines. And there's no way, especially Goodwill, the racks and racks of dresses that they have there, sometimes they don't realize what they have. So I like going in there and looking for vintage dresses to sell on eBay. I'll bring them home and clean them. I take them to the dry cleaner if they need dry cleaning. Actually, I got to take one right now to the dry cleaner, and then I'll sell them on there for for a fraction of the price that they would be at the store. Even though they're vintage, they're still in really good quality. Actually, that's why they're good quality, because back in the 90s and the late 80s, which is vintage, the garments were really well made compared to today. Like, you go on Temu or Shein or whatever that is, and the clothes that they're wearing now are just they just fall apart. So you might be getting them for just a few dollars, but you got to throw them away and keep buying them. And that's another thing about going shopping at a thrift shop for your clothes is you're recycling them so they don't go in the landfill. And I know it sounds to some people, ooh, I don't want to get my clothes but you just look in there. You can't even wear gloves. I see people in there wearing gloves. You just look through the racks and you make sure they're clean, or you make sure that you're able to clean them, and you can find some really cool stuff. So anyways, visit my eBay store. My eBay store is not I don't have a link on YouTube, but it's the This and That Store 007. The This and That Store 007. And then I do have the link for my Etsy store, which is the Docile Soul. So, and my YouTube channel is The Quiet Altar. So I hope you guys have sat through or listened through the whole video. I really appreciate it. And namaste.